Good morning, everybody. It is October, sorry, November 1st, 8:25 a.m. It is, what is this, Tuesday? One day away from the big FOMC tomorrow. Um, let's look at watch list, see what's going on. Then I'll explain what's going on with the market. All right. So crude is up 2.14%, $1.85 a barrel. Now, the reason why the market's moving um, higher is has to do with China. So China just talked about doing a zero um, COVID tolerance policy, but now they're talking about reopening stuff. So what I just read earlier was that I think his name is Xiao Ping that got reelected. He didn't want to do anything too drastic to cause him not to be reelected. So now they're saying that um, he could now be more aggressive to reopen stuff without having any impact about not being reelected because I think he has 3 to 5 years now that he could do his new policies. So hence why yesterday it was Biden's news about a windfall tax against oil companies that brought the market down and China lockdowns. Now China is saying they're going to reopen stuff. So crude went back up, which drove the Hang Seng in China up today. I think it was up 5%, something like that. So that's why you have some stocks like Baba and stuff like that up a lot. Okay, JD. Um, so that was the reason for that. So let's look at the other ones. All right, I got the 30-year bonds catching a bid. We have the Nasdaq's up 1.37%. The Russell's up 1.22%. Um, S&P's up 1.07%. Bitcoin's up. The Dow's up 0.71%. The VIX is down. The dollar is down. TNX, that's the story of the day right now, is down. 10-year yield's down 3.85%. That's huge. Down to 3.9. So, VIX down, kind of the triple headed monster. VIX down, dollar down, 10-year yield down. Is kind of bullish. It not kind of. It is bullish for equities. Okay. And then let's just go into some leaders and laggers with stocks. We have Baba is up 6.29% because of the China news. Okay. Coin's up 3.8%. Nvidia is up 2.47%. Tesla's up 2.36%. These are pretty hefty moves. AMD, Snow, okay? Everybody's up. There's not even a laggard really, okay? Let's go down to the some of the top sector stocks. Roblox up 2.59%. Disney up 1.6%. Qualcomm. Now, AMD reports today aftermarket. Okay. The only laggard is really Johnson and Johnson, and I believe they're buying a company. Probably why they got some negative, a little bit. They're purchasing a company. Let me see if that says it here. Yeah. J&J agrees to buy medical device maker Abiomed. So that's why the reason for that. And the sectors, energy's up 1.5, hence the China news. These are defensive. Well, the basic materials this is. But then we have semiconductors, discretionary, which is Tesla, Amazon, Home Depot, technology, Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, and AMD. Communications. There's nothing really down, so we're very bullish this morning. Okay, that's the reason. I already talked about the news. Before I get into anything, let's look at the economic calendar today. There is some market movers. We got manufacturing PMI at 945. We have ISM manufacturing employment at 10. ISM manufacturing PMI at 10, JOLTS job openings at 10. So 10 o'clock, I mean 9:45, 10. I don't know if I really want to be in a trade because any of those could like screw your trade up. So I'd be worried about that. Okay. All right, let's get into what happened yesterday, which is a whole lot of nothing. So really quickly go into some things I noticed. Okay, some important levels with futures we can look at. So let's get into that. Okay. So one thing I did. Well, let's just talk about yesterday. Doji candle, right here, kind of indecisive candle. Okay. Now this, call it 388, 389, 390 level in the SPY. Okay, very important. So it was support here, resistance here. Now it's resistance again along with the 100-day moving average. That's right here. Okay. Now, you want to talk about confluence, right? So we have 100-day moving average. We have support, resistance, resistance, right? Another layer onto that is a Fibonacci. So I made a Fibonacci level from the recent high when we hit the 200-day moving average down to our lows. Okay. It's no surprise that look where the market's at. The 50% Fibonacci level is right here. So you have a lot of confluence there. Got a 50% fib, you got the 100-day moving average, and you got this 388, 390 support resistance line right up into the Fed meeting. Right up into the Fed meeting. Okay, so that's the SPY. Okay. Now let's look at the Qs. I did the same fib. Now the Qs are weak. Okay. So if you notice, here's 50%. Let's do this. Here's 50% for the Qs. You can notice we're not even close to that. Now the resistance that's caused in the Qs is the 38.2% Fibonacci, which is weaker. Okay, that's a weaker pullback. And we have this still though. Call it 283, 284, which was support, resistance, resistance, resistance. Okay, that still has to be broken. Still haven't touched the 50 moving average. Okay, we bounced off the 9 EMA daily yesterday. See, right there. Okay, we still have this trend line that needs to be breached. That's the confluence that's going on in the Qs. Okay, so let's look at what I like to look at, that triple-headed monster that I talked about. So the 10-year yield is gapping down. We were up at a high. So we closed at the highs yesterday at 4.08. It is at 3.92 right now. Look at that. Look at that gap. Now, I've said this before. Okay. Let me fix this trend line now. We broke the trend just now, okay? And we're still falling. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. This swing low right here, this gets broken. Now, this is smart money, okay? There's a lot of talk, okay, going on with Nick, the Fed Whisperer, Fed Daily, that what's important tomorrow in this FOMC, everybody knows that a 75% basis point rate hike is going to happen. Okay, that's not the question. The market mover is going to be is the FOMC press conference when he starts to talk. Does he make a dovish remark? Does he talk about a possible pause or a possible less aggressive stance, which would be dovish? Okay. Now, bond market is the smart money. It usually tends to lead before the markets. Okay. If we continue down, okay, this could be pricing in a move higher in the equities. Not sure of that yet, right? But everything's kind of pointing to that. Okay. We have to see though. All right, but this is very interesting. Okay. Now let's go to the dollar. Dollar's also down today. Okay. We're at the lows of yesterday. Closed at the highs, but now we're at the lows. Kind of breaking this downtrend right now. This uptrend, I'm sorry. Have to watch that, right? So that this will be positive for commodities as well. Hence why oil, this is a nice little push for oil. Okay. And finally, look at the VIX. Now look, we kind of have a 2-day range here. We could even draw like a little support. I mean, this is support back from here actually. So if we break this 25.55 level, obviously that's going to be positive for the markets. This VIX is in a downtrend. Okay, below all the moving averages right now. 200-day moving average. Not that I put a lot of weight into that, but we are. It's a daily chart. Okay. So are we pricing in a move higher? Right? A Santa Claus rally, possibly to the end of the year. We have to see. Okay. Still a lot of economic data out. We have non-farm payrolls also on Friday, and unemployment rate. We need those numbers. Okay. The non-farm payrolls. You need to add less jobs, and unemployment needs to go up for it to be very positive for the market. You need that labor market to get weaker. Okay. We want the Fed to be less aggressive for the market to go higher. Okay, that's really the name of the game. Alrighty, let's get into the futures. Boom. Alright. So I made a market update yesterday. And I said that this area, high volume node area, okay, was the key. And I think it was 37. I'll have to see it in my other chart. I think it was 38.72 support level. I'll give it to you in my other chart to see the more exact level. But basically, it held the market right here. That held the market. Okay. Now, the most traded price of the week moved higher. It's 38.82 now. 38.82. So this makes this even stronger now because it's the most traded price of the week as well as a high volume node as well as this key support level. Okay. So what do we have now? Little range yesterday. All right. Now what do we have now? We have this weak high yesterday that I said I wanted to go long on. Never came up to it, but guess what? In the overnight, we did. We broke it. We broke this level. Actually, this the supply zone. Get rid of that right now. Okay. And this dotted line here is the 100-day moving average. So, very interesting, right? So we're gapping higher. So let's look at our ranges. Here's yesterday's range. Here's the high. Here's the low. A little balancing sessions. Very small. Okay. Now in the overnight with China, and look at this. Look at the low. Look at the low of yesterday. It's right here. Now, this low also coincides with the open of the overnight. So we have 100% net long session. 100% net long. We're gapping higher. So gaps that are large are hard to read, okay? However, if we keep going up, okay, um, a fade, a short fade off the early, trade could be in play. Now, I would probably avoid it maybe just because of the news coming out at 9:45 and 10, but it could be in play. Okay, but we also could just gap and go. Okay, so that's what we have. We have a gap up. Let's look at the composite profile here. Okay, now we already moved the value higher here. So the next thing is, can we build out? Can we build out more volume up here? This is the next high volume node, the next destination that we could probably possibly go to. You have to see. Okay, I'll get into more detail into that later. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Okay. Okay. Nasdaq also moved the 5-day for the RTH sessions up higher. Right here. This area now. You have the 24-hour most traded price of the week and the RTH most traded price of the week. So basically this right here, this area, and that's about 11,490 to about 11,460. That area, okay. This area is our little line in the sand here for the Nasdaq. Now, yesterday, okay, we had hold on a second. We have a weak high right here that we didn't break. Okay, but notice price is right at the highs right now. Price is right here. It's at 116, 11,600. Okay, this is this high that I wanted to go along with yesterday. Okay, price is right at the highs of the overnight session right now. So and Nasdaq isn't as strong. It it is not. It's gapping slightly to nothing, but it is. So we need to see. This is that area that I said that we break, we probably go higher. Okay. So the lows of the overnight is basically like our line in the sand with all these other levels. Most traded price of the week, most traded price of yesterday. Something's. Let me see something here. Sorry guys. I just want to look at the RTH sessions here. Okay. So let's look at the composite profile here, right? Now what you'll notice in the Nasdaq is if you were to make this like a drawing of a profile, right? And now every profile usually has a bell curve. Okay, most of it has exits at the top and the bottom, and distribution in the middle. But check this one out for the Nasdaq. Look at that. It ends there, right? So, in profile terms, this should have excess and build it out to make it a full profile. So I would expect us to move higher Now we have FOMC tomorrow, so I don't know if this is in the cards, but if we can get a little higher today, we could possibly move higher. Okay, make this profile full. And then the key would be to move this most traded price of the week higher up here. So everything right now is looking bullish for today. FOMC is tomorrow, so for today. All right, let's look at the hourly charts. We'll look at some levels. Open up the ES here. Okay, so maybe I even see if we can drop this. I know what I'll do for you guys. Hold on. Okay. So obviously it's just a melt up, a short covering for the overnight. What are our levels, right? The levels didn't change much. So let me get rid of this supply zone now. Resistance. Alrighty. Crude's catching a bid right now. Alright. Okay. Support level still 38.72. That level held. Look at that. Support, 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 right? High volume node. Okay. Now, we broke this level already. 39.09. Our next resistance level is 39.34. Okay. That's the next resistance level. Now, if I take this down a little bit, okay, our next likely destination is this high volume node right here, this orange box. And that price is around 39.47. That's where I expect the market to pause. Doesn't mean it can't break it, but it's going to slow down the market. If we go into this area, that would be a good profit taking area. It's a good target. Okay. Now the Nasdaq has to start moving higher. It is right now, and we'll get to that. So that's really it. I mean, we break 39.34. Okay, with some volume, we're headed right probably to 39.47. Now I'm not saying we can't go higher. I'm just saying this should slow it down, and then maybe we bleed up higher to 39.65, 39.76. I don't think so. With FOMC looming, I we might get a push early and then balance. Okay, that's all I'm looking at the ES today. Okay, so let's look at the Nasdaq. Okay, so for the Nasdaq, we have those bunch of confluence levels below. So here's that. What needs to hold the Nasdaq up is right here. You can see most traded price of yesterday, most traded price of the week. Okay, we got a support level of 114.16 is the ultimate support level. Okay, we also have a support of 114.80, but we just took out this resistance level of 115.62. Now this dotted line right here, I didn't have a number on it, but it's it's 11600 or 11,600. That's that week high in the Nasdaq that I'm saying could we break it? We're going to probably here into this supply zone, into this resistance level of 117.13. That's what I would look for today. Now, I've mentioned this before. I'll zoom out to show everybody how important that level is. Okay, that supply zone has acted as so resistance so many times. Just want to make sure everybody sees it. Okay, just to reiterate, supply zone was formed here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Okay, now price is here. That's why this resistance level is so key, 117.13, right? And this area, just a lot of supply here. Eventually, if we get good news, we're going to break this, and that really will propel the market. But we have some looming news, so we have to see. But if we get some really excursion today, we could just go here and kind of balance off, waiting for FOMC. Okay? Just wanted to show everybody that. Now I'm going to bring up the market profile. And we'll look at some levels. Okay, here's some scenarios for today. Now I'm going to start in the ES. Okay. We have a new month, obviously. Okay. So price is right here, top of the overnight session. We're 100% net long. Everybody's long right now overnight. Okay. Now I'm gonna get a little detailed at certain levels here, but let's go with the bullish case. Okay. What I could see happening is if we open here. Now we could go higher here. Remember, the market opens at 9:30. I could see a push down to either the 100-day moving average or this 309 level. Bounce, and we're going to hit this target, 39.34. Okay. Now, what I feel most likely, if we go, we're probably going to move up into this area, like I said, the 39.45 area, and we can balance off, waiting for FOMC. Okay. Now, bearish. Hey, here's the bear case. Now, there's very important levels below, both in the NASDAQ and the ES. Okay. So, 38.72 is the key support level. Okay. 38.82 is the most traded price of the week. See where I'm getting at? 38.82 is also the most traded price of yesterday. Okay. Now, what does that mean? If I had a classroom, I'd ask you, but obviously I'm gonna answer it. Everybody is long here. These are longs, all in this area. Okay, so if we're gonna go bearish, here's our bear bull line. Okay, right here. So if we're gonna go bearish, what I think could happen is push up, come back through. Okay, start liquidating some longs from overnight, come to this level, push down, okay? And what I feel is this good as a big level. So what I feel is we're gonna get slowed down, okay? And we hit this level, 38.72. One or two things can happen. We could drop, come back, balance off for FOMC, or we hit this and we take right off and we head down, okay? We can head down to, this is the 50-day moving average right here to about 38.45, okay? That's just the bearish scenario, okay? Now, everybody probably knows what my third one is. He's always going to be balanced, okay? So I think that's either simply one or two things. And one of them is kind of before that I think is highly likely. I think we can come up here, balance. Obviously, we can come up to here, come down here, balance. We can come down here and balance. That's just waiting for tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So now you know my plans there. Okay. Let's look at the NASDAQ. We have this weak high here. Right here. This line. Even the overnight is below it now. Okay. This is that 11,600 level. You can see now this is the 1, 2, 3 times we come knocking. All right. Give me one sec. I just want to pull my NASDAQ up so I can give you guys the best levels that I'm seeing. Okay. So this now has shorts literally just lined up here. Okay. If we get volume off that open, we're going to push through this level pretty nicely. Okay. So bullish case, I could see some froth coming off this, come down to this level, 11562. Okay. Finding some support, come back with a vengeance here, pump, push through it, go all the way up to 117.13, and we balance off here, waiting for FOMC. Okay. Let's look at the bearish case. Now, same thing in the ES. Same thing in the ES. This area right here is our bull bear line. Okay. Now, bearish case here. If we come down and we start coming through this area, it's going to cause us to have support. It's going to cause us to chop. But if we push, okay, if we push and break this bottom of this 11416 level, we can probably test yesterday's lows. Okay. And if we test yesterday's lows with volume, we could go lower. Okay, we could go lower. Probably could go to. That's actually a pretty crucial area there. Probably to 112.59. That's the 20-day moving average. I'm not sure. I don't think that's. I'm just saying this is such a key level. You know, like I said, we could bounce right here, back up. Okay, but that's just a bearish scenario. That's all. Doesn't mean I think it's going to happen. All right. And finally, obviously the balance scenario. We could definitely even try to pop up, come back down, and rebalance right here in this area. Okay. You could even come down all the way here, come back up, bounce. Okay. So pretty much for both indexes, okay, really important of this weak high in the Nasdaq. I would look for a pullback to go long here, target here. If we break this area, look for a short. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, same thing here, bull bear line in the ES. Okay, we come down here and we can punch through it. That's a short. Okay, pull back here off the open to 39.09. If the market supports it, the internals, we're probably going to go higher right up to here. Okay, that's what I'm going to be looking at today. All right, well, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to go look at crude now. And please give me a like, comment, subscribe, share with your trading friends. Hopefully this is helpful to everybody what I look at. I like to look at a bunch of different things to give me confluence, to give me confidence to do some of my trades. And tomorrow's a big day. And today I hope everybody makes some money, stays green. I had a pretty decent day in crude yesterday, so that was pretty good. Hope everybody else had a good day yesterday. And I will see everybody tomorrow. Okay. Good luck, everybody.